In this video, we are going to discuss about the authentication because one of the key aspects of the uh, cryptography and the network security is the authentication. So, authentication, why it is required? Because it is going to help to establish trust by identifying that who a particular user is or who's and what is the system. Meaning thereby who is who. So authentication is going to ensure that the claimant is really whatever he or she is claiming, and so the question is who, because before making any transaction, before making any conversation, both the parties must assure themselves that to whom they are talking about, to whom they are conversing or making a conversation. So it is a question which is asked every day, and we have a lot of importance of as well as the significance of the authentication, since it is going to identify the user as well as the resources. And the sole purpose is to establish the trust before the communication is going to take place in between two parties. Now, as far as the definition of authentication is concerned, uh, uh, it can be defined as determining an identity of the required label for the assurance purpose, and it is going to give you the first step for the any kind of cryptographic solution. Because until unless you are not knowing to whom you are conversing or to whom you are communicating, there is no point of making the encryption or the decryption what is being communicated. So until unless you are not sure, you will not do the rest of the things. Now we have many authentication mechanisms which are used in cryptography. The first one is the passwords, second one is the message digest of the password, third one is the authentication token, fourth one is the certificate based authentication, and fifth one is the biometrics. So we will be discussing each point by point. The first one is the password. We know that passwords are the most common form of the authentication. Password is a string of alphabets, number, or it may be made of special characters also, which is supposed to be known only to the entity to whom it belongs, to whom you are going to authenticate. But people believe that the use of the password is the simplest and it is least expensive authentication mechanism because it does not require any special hardware or the software. But there are certain wrong perception about the passwords. Now, how it works? Uh, as I told you, that password-based authentication mechanism is the simplest mechanism without any expense. And normally, whenever the password is filled on the particular screen, login screen, it is filled in a clear text form. As well as whenever it is moving on the network in the clear text form. So that may be the dangers. As well as if the password is stored at the server side in the database, and if it is stored in a clear text form, then it is also a problematic part. So let us go step by step how this password authentication works. Now the first step is the prompt for the user ID and the password which you will be getting on your login screen. So during the authentication, the application sends a screen to the user and prompting for its user ID and the password to fill and send. So what user used to do, it puts its ID as well as the password, and this login request is sent to the server. So in this way, this user ID and the password is moving on the network in a clear text form. Now once it is being received by the server, So it will be using, the server will be using the ID and the password for the validation. So what server is going to do? The server is going to consult to the user's database to see that the particular user ID and the password combination exists or not. So, and this can be done with the user authentication program. And this is a program that takes user ID and the password, checks it against the user database, and returns the result of the authentication, that is either success or failure, uh, to back to the server. And then uh, after getting its success uh, information to the server, uh, it is authentication is being proved, and then the server finally sends this information uh, to the user accordingly, whether it is successful or it is not successful. So this is a simplest scheme, as I told you, which we normally use in normal days also. But we have a problem with this kind of scheme. The problem with this scheme is two problems are there. First is uh, the database contains the password in the clear text form. So this is the problematic one. Because the user database contains the user ID and the password in the clear text. Therefore, if an attacker is going to succeed in obtaining to access to that particular database, the whole list of the user ID and the password is available to that particular attacker. So it is advised that that the password should not be stored in the clear text form. So instead of that, it should be first encrypted, and then it is being stored in the database. So whenever a user is going to log in on the server side, user's password should be first encrypted, and then it is compared with the encrypted password in the database. And depending upon that, whether it is going to match or not, the decision should be taken that login is successful or not. The second one is password travels in the clear text form from the user computer to the server. Even if we are going to store the encrypted password in the database, the password will be traveling in the clear text form from the user to the server. So if an attacker breaks the communication link and between the whatever is existing in between the user and the server, the attacker can easily obtain the clear text password. So there will be no need to store the encrypted password into the database, because it can be hacked in between through the communication channel. So what is the solution? Solution is something derived from the password. That people come with the idea that why not to change it. So something derived from the password, and something which is derived from the password has certain requirements. Whenever we put whenever we put some password, each time, and we are doing some processing on that clear text password to produce or deriving something from the password, every time whenever we should get the same output for the same password. Second requirement is the whatever in the form of an output which is derived from the password, it will not be able to produce any kind of a clue about the original password. Meaning thereby something derived from the password, if we are applying certain algorithm to derive something from the password, the requirement of that algorithm should be like this. The third one is it should be infeasible for an attacker to provide an incorrect password and yet obtain the correct derived password. Even though if there is some attacker and it is going to write some wrong password, yeah, so it will be very difficult to get the correct derived password which has been applied with the help of a certain algorithm on the password, which is going to derive something from the password. So something derived from the password, the best way is to get the message digest of the password. And in that case, original or the clear text password is never stored or it is never transmitted. And message digest of the password is stored in the database, and the same is being used for the authentication. But this kind of method of using message digest of the password, that is something deriving from the password, is going to lead to the replay attack. But before we go into the drawbacks, let us discuss how it is being done. The message digest of the password. The first step is to store the message digest as derived password in the user's database. So whatever is the password, we apply the message digest algorithm, and whatever is the message digest of the password, that is stored in the database. So, and then the server is going to create a user creation program. Through user creation program, it is going to store in the user's database. So this is the first step. The second step is the user authentication involving the message digest of the password. So how user being authenticated? When a user need to be authenticated, the user enters its ID and its password as usual, as it is being done in the previous. Now the user computer computes the message digest of the password and then sends the user ID and the message digest of the password to the server for its identification. So what client is doing, is user is doing, it is the password. We are applying a message digest algorithm to get the message digest of the password, and then the ID and the message digest of the password is sent to the server. Step 3. This is the step 3 in which server-side validation, in which the user authentication program is going to validate the user ID as well as the message digest of the password. So whatever the server is, the server has received the ID and the message digest of the password, and it will be sending these two information to the user authentication program, where the ID and along with that the message digest of the password is being stored. If it is going to match into the user's database, it gives the information to the server that login successful, which eventually going to give the login successful to the client. So this is step 3 in which server-side validation is being done. Now again we have a problem with this. Of course, this type of whatever is the problem in the previous one, that is database contains the password in the clear form, it has been removed, and the password database contains the message digest of the password, not the clear text. Second, password is not traveling in the clear text because it was the problem in the previous one. So now in this time, the message digest of the password is through the channel is going to the server end. But even though it is going to create a problem, and that problem is known as the replay attack. What is that replay attack? The attacker who is sitting in between will be using will be receiving the message digest of the password. So any attacker who is listening the communication which is involving the login request response in between the user's computer and the server, as it knows that it involves the transition of the user ID and the message digest of the password from the user program, from the user's computer to the server. The attacker simply copy the user ID and the message digest of the password, submit it somewhere some other time, put it itself, and whenever it wants, it will send the same information in the form of a user ID and the password which it has captured from the communication channel, and this will lead to a replay attack, because the attacker can simply replace the sequence of the action in a normal as a normal user. So it means some better scheme is required. So this problem of the replay attack can be done with the help of the adding randomness. And what is the adding randomness? If something is derived from the password is not the same, then it is going to foul the replay attack. Because every time whenever we are putting the password and we are applying message digest algorithm, we are getting the same output. If we do something by which some randomness is being introduced in that, so that whenever we are writing password and we are taking the message digest and or some more operation, so that every time whenever the output is being received, it is not the same output. If it is done yesterday, if it is done tomorrow, or it is done day after tomorrow, every time it will be going to give the different value of the message digest. So adding randomness is going to solve sometime about the resolution that by doing the randomness every time you will be not getting. So whenever an attacker is going to store the communication channel in which ID and the message digest or password is moving, every time it is different. So it is not going to have the replay attack in that particular case. So the adding randomness is having certain steps. Just to improve the security, we have to do this process. The first step is storing message digest as a derived password in the user database. This is correct. So what we do in this step is exactly the same step as the previous case. Therefore, I'm not going to discuss this here. We simply store the message digest of the user password and not the password itself as in the previous case. Now, the step two. Step two is the user sends a login request simply. User sends a login request, and by saying the giving the ID of that, not the password. Only ID is being sent. So whenever user sends the ID, the server is going to create a random challenge. It is the step number 3. So how it is being done? When the server receives the user's login request containing its user ID alone, it first checks to see that if the user ID is valid or not. And it can be done with the help of user authentication program. If that ID is valid, which is given by the database to the server, it creates, it generates, or it activates the random challenge creation program. And the purpose of this random creation challenge program is to generate a random challenge, which is a random number. And whenever a random number is generated and this program has given this random number to the particular server, this random challenge value is sent to the client. So it means the client first of all has sent in its ID, server has validated its ID, and then activated its random challenge program to create a random challenge, and whenever it is created, this random challenge value is sent to the client side. So what client used to do, whenever the client is going to receive that random challenge, it uses message digest algorithm apply on the user's computer. First of all calculates the message digest of this password. Password is April, and it will be applying the message digest algorithm to get the message digest of this password. And then with the help of this message digest, this is working as a key, and whatever random challenge value it has received, it is being encrypted with the message digest of the password. And then whatever ciphertext we will be getting, that ciphertext is sent to the server. Now, what client will do, it will send its ID as well as this password. What is this password? The random challenge it has received, it is being encrypted by the message digest of the password, and it is done on the client side. So user is going to sign the random challenge with the message digest of the password. This is the fourth step. Then the server will be receiving what? Server will be receiving the ID and the password. So what server will be doing? The server, first of all, server activates the authentication program obtained in the form of a message digest from the user's password into the user database. So it will be first sending the ID, and with this ID it will be getting its password, which is the message digest of this particular user whose ID is Atul. So once it receives the message digest, the server has received from its database, then server sends this information, activates the random challenge encryption program, and this random challenge encryption program has already created the random challenge which is being sent to the server, and through the server it has come to the client. So what it will be doing, that same random challenge which is created by the random challenge program, it will be encrypted with the help of the message digest of the ID, of the password related to that particular ID. So it will be also creating a encrypted random challenge, and this encrypted random challenge is coming to the server. Now, server will do, it will be activating the comparison program in which both the calculated encrypted value and the received encrypted value are being matched. And if they are going to match, the login will be successful, otherwise not. So it is going to be successful, then only the server will be giving the information login successful to the client.